This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, sometimes the difference between living and dying comes down to one decision. The story I'm telling you today is about a woman who did everything right, but still found herself fighting for her life in her own home. But it's also about a stranger who trusted his instincts and her decision to trust them too. This is the amazing survival of Jennifer Morey. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime stories and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks? It's your boy Russ, a.k.a. I eat too much Popeyes, a.k.a. I'm the ice in your drink, a.k.a. Jess's Miss Protein.
I'm the ice in your drink.
I'm cool.
Oh, okay.
You overanalyze these AKAs and make me explain them in depth. Like if it was another guy, he'd be like, all right, cool.
I know. Well, we know that women always want things explained more.
Well, if they want to hear about the protein, oh my God. So I don't know if anyone else's wife is on this kick. Jess tries to put protein in everything. Water, coffee.
I'm trying to be on a high protein diet.
Yeah. And then we wonder why when she's sleeping, I got to wear a gas mask.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So the first thing I hear today, as I'm in bed with Jess, before I hear any words, is, if you're not making protein coffee, I don't know what you're doing. So these are the TikToks Jess watches. And this is why we have way too many different kind of powders in our house.
We do have a lot of powder. You're right.
Yeah, and we just keep them until you throw them out. You very rarely...
No, I've been doing really good.
You very rarely finish powders. You have finished very few out of the many.
Okay, well, I've been doing good lately. Well, I had an idea, because we talked about it last episode that you're such a Grinch. You're just so bad when it comes to Christmas as far as being a Grinch. Although this year you got me really good gifts.
Well, listen, either I hit a home run or I strike out. I don't get any singles or doubles.
No, and you hit a home run for my gifts this year. You really did. He got me a signed Wicked, like signed by the author, Wicked book.
Yeah, and Jess is a nut for Wizard of Oz.
I am, and I completely freaked out. And he also got me Meta Ray-Ban glasses, and he got me Wicked Collector's Edition record. It's really nice. So you did,
and my dick in a box.
Oh God. Anyway, since you're such a Grinch,
I don't even like people buying me presents.
I thought maybe from now on you should celebrate Festivus because we're huge Seinfeld fans.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do Festivus for the rest of us. You already air out all your grievances about me on the podcast all the time.
It's for the rest of us.
So you might as well just celebrate Festivus every year.
I don't know what it entails, but if it entails not buying people gifts or going over people's houses or...
Well, you're going to have to watch the Seinfeld episode again about Festivus so you can get all the rules.
I forgot what they did, but I know you air out your grievances.
Yeah, that's one of them. There's a few different things you do.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody to celebrate Festivus with me because I don't want to hear anyone's grievances.
You don't want to hear my grievances about you.
No, these Festivus for me.
Okay. So... this month on the Patreon, we watched and reviewed Sean Combs' The Reckoning.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We released it.
2 parts.
It's
like 4 hours altogether, probably.
It's like 3 hours altogether. You and I were married and we're literally around each other nonstop. And it always shocks me that we could talk about something for 3 straight hours. It literally shocks me every time. I mean, this time we broke it up into 2 parts, but sometimes I'm like, how do we talk to each other this much?
Yeah, but it isn't like you just talk to me on this pod, then we go downstairs and you keep talking.
I know, it's just crazy. We talk a lot.
We?
Anyway, so we we released it on Patreon and on Apple subscription, and it's gotten really good responses. We went into tons of details about the doc, about Diddy, about life in New York City at that time. Russ was growing up in that era in New York City, so we talked a lot about that. Lots of stories. I really like these episodes. I feel like they came out really good. So if you're interested, go to Patreon, sign up at the $5 tier, and you can hear all of our true crime and chill episodes. But something that I think is crazy, I found out today, Justin and Christian Combs are coming out with their own documentary now.
Yeah, that's crazy if that really happened.
It is happening. It's in production.
I saw something on Instagram, or you sent it to me or something, and I'm like, I don't know. Did someone just put it together?
No, I looked it up. They're actually working on it it's called Zeus Network. I don't know what that is, but it's a streaming network.
And it's probably Diddy's new network he bought.
Maybe. But I feel like because Diddy controls narratives, this is Puff's response to 50 Cent, for sure. And he's using his kids because he's in jail. And there's going to be calls from him, like recorded phone calls that they have.
Oh my God, I'm so all about this.
I know.
I want to see the bullshit excuses or God this, God that.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's like that for episode after episode, I'm going to be done after one.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if it's one episode. I don't know if it's multiple. But yeah, apparently they're making it. And I was going to make a TikTok about it because, you know, here's the thing. I hate Puff so much. And we talked about it in our episode. We talk a lot about it. But I am curious what his response is going to be because this documentary that 50 Cent put out is it's crazy.
I'm just dying to see really what he does when he gets out of jail.
Yeah.
To get himself back in the limelight. 'Cause he's probably not just going to shy away. Like, he likes it.
He loves being
He doesn't need money, no matter who sues him.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's in his mom's name.
You want to hear something crazy that I heard, actually? Listen to this. We didn't talk about this in the Diddy episode, but this is crazy. So before Biggie died, Biggie signed over all of his music to Bad Boy for $200,000.
Wow.
So that means you know how many samples people have used of Biggie's songs? The royalties that Puff has been making off of Biggie, he's been making money off of Biggie longer than Biggie was alive.
It's true.
Because he makes money.
Biggie's mom don't like Puff. Wait,
No.
She passed, I think.
I don't know if she passed, but she doesn't like him. But isn't that crazy? He's been making money off of Biggie since he signed that over, the music over.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because
It surprised me.
once you sign a contract, like that's your deal forever.
But he signed it for $200,000. All of his music.
She did pass away in February 2025 at 78.
Wow. Oh, she passed away this year?
Yeah,
Wow.
I knew it was very recent if it happened.
Wow. So anyway, I found that nuts.
R.I.P. Violetta Wallace.
Yeah, R.I.P. It's nuts.
So anyway, every week I shout out to Patreons as well, people that join. And this week's Patreons are Melissa, Sarah, Taryn, S+4, and a bunch of stuff. I don't know what you got going on.
ST4 something.
Yeah. Shay, Lindsay, Andy, Lizette, Brittany, Brianne, Mel, Ira, and Isabel. So shout out to you guys. I got my old fashioned right here.
Shout out to you guys. Cheers. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon.
All right. So we also do review of the week. And here it is from Paleo22. Vote for Russ and Jess is the best. 5 stars. I found this podcast and immediately started binging it from episode 1. Russ is so funny and reminds me of a Bronx version of my husband with his not wanting human interaction, blunt answers, and only talks with alcohol on board. So when Russ got to the episode where he said he thinks he might be autistic, I laughed so hard because my husband is autistic. Jess plays the straight woman perfectly. Definition: A straight man is a member of a comedy team who feeds lines to a partner who in turn replies with usually humorous quips. And her writing is on point, actually, making me cry once, which never happened.
Aw, that's nice. That was a good one.
Yeah, that one was good, creative and everything. And, you know, I have...
You might have a little touch of the tism.
Or maybe they're really smart and so am I.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of autistic people are very smart.
At least at one thing minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. They
have a human
superpower.
ability.
It's true. All right. This case this week is insane. Okay.
In the membrane?
Yes. I know I say that a lot about a lot of cases.
And I might have said in the membrane a few times,
You may have. But we are on the third and final episode of our Baddie series.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So we...
Clutch up, folks.
Yes, this is in honor of our self-protection brand, Clutch Defense.
Oh, that's a good slogan.
Clutch up.
Clutch up.
There you go. All right. Our first episode in the Baddie series was about the Osage murders. And that was also linked to the drink cover, The Shield. The second Baddie episode was representing the Shiv, and that one was the survival of Tara Newell and the takedown of Dirty John.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I like when they fight back.
Yes. And now this one is going to be linked to our third product, the Snitch, our personal safety alarm. And this case is insane. There is a moment in every life when a decision has to be made, a decision that carries more weight than we can possibly understand at the time. Who to believe, who to listen to, who to let close, and who to turn away. We make those choices every day without thinking about them, trusting that the people who are meant to protect us will do exactly that. We assume the uniform means safety. We assume the title means security. We assume that help will always look like help when it arrives. But sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is also the one you're supposed to trust the most. And sometimes the stranger who knows nothing about you at all is the only person who can save your life. On a spring night in 1995, a young woman in Houston, Texas, would learn the difference between living and dying can come down to one decision and one voice in the dark. This is the amazing survival of Jennifer Morey. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jennifer Morey was not careless. She wasn't reckless. And she wasn't naive. She was 25 years old, and she was newly building her life as this young attorney in Houston. And like a lot of women who live alone, she was intentional about her choices that she made. Where she lived mattered to her. How she lived mattered. Safety wasn't something she took for granted. It was something she thought about and something that she planned for.
She's probably pretty smart. She's a lawyer.
Yeah, she is. She had come to Houston for a job opportunity, for the chance to grow her career and her independence at the same time. And with that independence came a real understanding. Living alone meant being responsible for her own safety. Jennifer didn't rush to choose an apartment. She took her time. She toured several different complexes. She paid attention to lighting and entrances.
Wow.
The way gates were positioned, the things that made a place feel protected, not just advertised as protected. She was looking for a place where she could come home late without feeling afraid. A place where she could sleep without lying awake listening to every sound. A place that felt separated from parts of the world that could reach through a door in the dark. And when she finally chose her apartment, it was because it checked all the boxes. Tall fencing, there was controlled access, on-site security. It looked really safe, and she believed it was. So in April of 1995, Jennifer came home late after dinner and drinks with her friends. She'd spent the night laughing and unwinding, letting the weight of her really crazy workday fade into something lighter. When she pulled into the complex, the gates were closed. The property was quiet. The lights were bright along the walkways. Everything looked like it was supposed to. So she got to her apartment, unlocked her door, and locked it behind her, and moved through her familiar rituals of getting ready for bed.
It probably takes her way too long. As anyone knows, every wives' routines or your girl is so long that if I was a woman and I was tired, I'd be like, I can't go to bed. I'm too tired to go to bed.
To go through the whole routine.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stay on the couch till I doze off.
It's funny.
And then we go upstairs to watch a movie. And I would have been halfway through the movie by the time Jess actually gets in the bed. Like,
I got to do my shower, my skincare, all the things.
Well, I mean, brush my teeth and stuff.
So nothing felt unusual. The apartment was quiet and sealed off from the outside world. She slipped beneath her covers and fell into a deep sleep. But a few hours later, she was woken up to the sensation of weight pressing down on her chest. At first, her mind resisted the reality of it. Dreams have weight sometimes. Sleep paralysis, maybe. Nightmares can feel physical. They can feel real. But then hands began to pull at her clothing, rough and insistent, and her confusion sharpened into panic. She raised her arms, trying to push against this dark shape above her, and that's when her fingers touched a cold metal. It was a blade, a knife, and it was held firmly against her throat. The realization hit her all at once. Her heart began to race, her breathing sped up, and everything became clear. Someone is in her bed on top of her, trying to rape her.
That's
insane.
Gotta be a number one top fear, and something that like most people think probably won't happen to them. Like that, but like that's a number one top fear, because like I always feel like if you're gonna get attacked, I always think like it's gonna happen outside or some shit.
But to happen
when
in
you're
your
home,
bed,
especially in a building. If she's in a building with doors locked, because there's no signs of anyone breaking in. And, like, I'm wondering, was someone already in the house when she got there?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Or did they come in when she was sleeping?
It's terrifying to even think through, like, did she go through a whole night routine while someone was sitting there watching her?
Just waiting for her to, like, go to sleep. Or it seems like they probably came in while she was sleeping.
Maybe. So someone was in her bed, on top of her, trying to rape her. She screamed. She fought. Kicking, pushing, trying to get him off of her, trying to create any space between her body and his. But that's when he gets angry, very angry. He hits her in the face, hard, and immediately there's blood everywhere. It's on her pillow, her sheets, all over her face and chest, and for a second, she honestly thinks he might have taken out her eye, because she can feel blood running down the side of her face, and she can't see clearly.
I guess her body's protecting her from the pain right now, so she doesn't know.
He slashed her face from her eye all the way down to her cheek. So she continues to scream and fight him. And then he swipes the knife across her neck, slitting her throat.
Fuck.
She can feel blood pouring down her neck and chest, and that's when it hits her.
Ugh.
He isn't just trying to rape her. Now he's trying to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer continues screaming, blood-curdling screams. Later, investigators would say that at least 15 people in that apartment complex heard her screams. People in different units, on different floors, but no one called police. Not a single solitary person. It's the bystander effect. Everyone just assumes someone else will call, but no one called.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
That's so New York. Like, someone else will
Well, that's what happened with Kitty Genovese. It's famous case in New York. She was being stabbed right outside the apartment, and all of these people heard her and actually saw her laying on the street, and no one called the cops. And she got attacked twice in the same night, back to back, by the same man, screaming, and in New York City. And no one in the building called police. It's a famous case about the bystander effect, because after that case happened, then psychologists started studying the bystander effect.
See, men will protect a lot of people in New York, and you'd be surprised at the situations, like the danger they would put themselves in to stop something. I see it a lot.
Yeah.
So the bystander effect is more like if they hear something from a distance, like someone else got it. I'm telling you, like you could see in New York, it happened all the time.
Yeah.
There's one guy was chasing a bum was chasing a lady, a regular dude was chasing another dude, knocks him out, kicks him in his face, and everyone walking by is like, that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, the bystander effect is you just assume that someone else is going to call, but then no one called. And that's the part that's hard to sit with, because her voice carried. People heard it. They just didn't act. As she's screaming, the man covers her mouth and says, "Jennifer, shut the fuck up." She's shocked.
So this is on purpose. It's not like a random in her house.
He knows her name. She's like, "I know him? Who is this?" She starts panicking even more. This is someone she knows. And somehow that's even more terrifying. So now she's trying to see him in the pitch black. Her eyes are full of blood, though, and she can't see a thing, just a shadow figure. But she's paying attention to his voice, trying to place it. Who could this be? At some point, Jennifer realizes she's losing this fight. She's bleeding profusely. She's exhausted. And she understands something that no one should ever have to understand. That she might not be able to stop what's about to happen to her. So she makes the agonizing decision to stop fighting and do what he says. Maybe if she lets him rape her, she'll get out alive. So in that moment, she stops fighting and she turns her head to the side and prepares herself for what she believes is coming. Ready to cooperate, to try and save her own life. It's so hard to imagine how much it takes to make that decision, to lie there, hurt and terrified, and make peace with the idea that you are about to be violated or killed, to choose stillness because your body is exhausted and you have nothing left to give and you're out of options.
It's such a logical decision that's so hard to make.
Yeah.
It's really logical, like just to give yourself a better statistical chance of living and not go with your emotions.
I know. It's crazy. But what happens next is something no one could have predicted. He can't rape her. His body won't cooperate. He can't get it up. And instead of leaving, instead of stopping, instead of walking away, he gets more angry. He grabs her and drags her off the bed, across the floor and into her bathroom, and he drops her on the tile floor. He walks out of the bathroom and he starts pacing back and forth in her bedroom. This isn't how he planned this. And in that moment, she moves fast, musters up the strength she has left, crawls to the door and slams it shut. She then pushes herself upright, slides her back against the door, and braces her feet against the bathtub in front of her. She plants her heels as hard as she can and pushes, holding the door closed with everything she has left in her body.
Lock them legs.
She sits there shaking and bleeding, listening. And she can hear him moving around in her room. She hears drawers opening, things being moved, the sound of his boots on her floor, and then the sound of a zipper being pulled up. He zipped up his jeans.
He's tapping out.
She then grabs the toilet paper roll and presses the whole thing against her neck, trying to slow the bleeding, trying not to think about how much blood there is, trying to decide what all of these sounds on the other side of the door means. Like, is he leaving?
I'd be thinking, can I lose more blood?
I know.
Like, I don't know how much blood you need to operate.
It's crazy. I'm sure she's like losing a ton of blood right now. Is he leaving or is he getting ready to come back? Minutes go by and they feel so long. They feel heavy. And in that time, Jennifer realizes something that terrifies her even more than what just happened. If she stays here on this bathroom floor, she's going to bleed to death.
It's crazy how long she's living already.
Yes, she will die if she stays in that room. So after what felt like an eternity of silence on the other side of the door, she knows her only chance of survival is leaving this bathroom. And it's a gamble, but she has to take it. So she opens the door. When it comes to holiday gifting, I want to give things people really love. Beautiful, timeless pieces they'll wear for years. That's why I'm going with Quince. From Mongolian cashmere sweaters to Italian wool coats, everything is premium quality at a price that actually makes sense. Quince absolutely has something for everyone. Soft Mongolian cashmere sweaters for $50 that look and feel like designer pieces. They have silk tops and skirts for dressing up, perfectly cut denim for everyday wear, and outerwear that actually keeps you warm. I have their cashmere sweaters and they feel incredible. They're super soft, structured, they don't pill. It's the kind of quality I'd normally expect from a $200 sweater, not a $50 one. Quince has gifting covered beyond clothing too. They have gifts for home, travel, bed and bath, kitchen. I mean, they have so many things. Find gifts so good, you'll want to keep them yourself with Quince. Go to quince.com/wifeofcrime for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/wifeofcrime to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wifeofcrime. Her apartment is completely dark, pitch black. She slowly steps outside of the bathroom. Her hands are skimming the wall, searching for the light switch she knows is right there. And she finds it and moves it up and down, but nothing. The lights don't work. She slowly walks against the wall toward her living room to get to her phone. Imagine how terrifying this is. It's pitch black. She's covered in blood. She can't see a thing, and she has no idea if this man is there or not. She finally reaches the phone, and it's dead. He cut the power, and he cut the phone line. So he thought about this. He planned it. And although this is 1995, Jennifer was lucky enough to have a cell phone. Thank God. It was probably like a Zach Morris phone. But she had it, and she had to find it. She moves through her apartment the only way she can, with her hands out in front of her, feeling her way through rooms. She bumps into furniture. Her legs feel weak. She's trying to stay quiet, but also trying to move fast, trying not to think about what would happen if he were still there and she walked straight into him. Imagine the fear. I can't even fathom the fear being in the pitch black like that. She finally finds her phone. Her hands are slick with blood and she's shaking so bad it takes a second for her to even get the screen to turn on. When she dials 911, she can hear it in her own voice, the panic and the effort it takes just to get the words out. She tells the dispatcher that someone tried to kill her, that there's blood everywhere, that she doesn't understand how anyone even got into her apartment because she knows she locked her doors. And on the other end of the line is a man who has never done this before.
Oh no, his first day?
It's his first day.
First call?
First call on his first day.
Jesus, that's my fucking luck right there. Someone else is thinking the same thing.
His name is Richard Everett. He's calm. He keeps her breathing. And he tells her help is on the way. They stay on the phone for 10 minutes, and Richard is her lifeline, telling her the cops are going to be there soon. Just keep breathing. And then, while she's on the phone with him, someone knocks on her door. Jennifer freezes. She tells Richard that someone's at the door. I think the police are here, she said. But Richard is tracking the cops on his GPS and tells her, no, that's not the police. They aren't there yet. So Jennifer asks the person on the other side of the door who they are. He says, hi, I'm the night security guard patrolling. I saw a man jump off your balcony. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't, so I ran over here to help you and see if you're okay. And Jennifer tells Richard, it's the night security guard from my building. He's here to help me. And there's a pause on the line. Richard feels it before he can explain it, but he says, Jennifer, don't open that door. He tells her to stay right where she is. He tells her that if she doesn't know who that is on the other side for sure, because she can't see through the peephole because her eyes are full of blood.
And she didn't know what the person looked like, right?
Yeah, she didn't know what the person looked like anyway who attacked her. He tells her if she doesn't know who's on the other side, she shouldn't let him in.
Absolutely. That's what I tell Jess when anyone knocks on our door with a motherfucking reflective vest. Don't unlock that door. I don't know him.
But she's desperate. She has her hand right on the doorknob, ready to open it, because then she won't be alone and terrified anymore.
Wow.
But she stops. She listens to Richard, and she doesn't open the door. So she stays still. She listens as he keeps knocking. She listens to the voice on the other side of the door and the stranger on the phone telling her to trust him. And in that moment, Jennifer is standing between two unknowns, one on the phone and one on the other side of the door, and she has to decide who to believe.
What have you done?
In that moment, I don't know. It's a really tough decision because you have someone right there who's willing to help you. So a few minutes later, the hallways fill with noise. Real noise, voices, radios, footsteps. And the dispatcher, Richard, tells her that police and fire are finally there. So she opens the door this time. And she doesn't make it very far. She collapses right out of her apartment. Police flood the apartment complex. Red and blue lights everywhere. Neighbors start coming out into the hallways wrapped in blankets, peeking through cracked doors, trying to understand why their quiet building is suddenly turned into a crime scene. Officers are moving fast. They start calling for EMS. And not far from Jennifer's apartment, they notice a man walking through the complex. He doesn't look frantic. He isn't running. He isn't hiding. He's just walking.
Because that's what you should do if you did something like that.
Like someone who belongs there. When officers stop him, he tells them that he was attacked too. That he saw a man jump from Jennifer's second floor balcony, and after he chased him, they began to fight. He says it calmly. He doesn't sound confused or scared. He has cuts that are bleeding on his face and his hands. And at first glance, nothing about him sets off alarms.
This is the third character this motherfucker's playing in this podcast episode so far.
Yeah, he is. He's cooperative. He answers police questions, and he lets them look at him all over. He's not covered in blood, but he definitely looks like he was in a struggle. So the officers kind of, they believe him, and they're like, okay, well, we got to find this guy.
But you stay here. They have to detain him. Not for nothing.
Well, they began moving through Jennifer's apartment, carefully stepping around blood-soaked carpet and overturned furniture, and they see how much blood there is. They see the way the lights and phone lines had been cut. And they start finding things that don't belong to Jennifer. A glove, a men's belt, underwear, a hat, and the knife. He left everything at the scene. Meanwhile, the cops start getting a weird feeling about this man. They're questioning because he's kind of hanging around too long and inserting himself, talking to the cops about the man that jumped off the balcony, and he keeps just going into too many details.
This dude definitely ain't right in the head. I don't know. There might be something romantic about getting caught in his head and going through this.
Well, the cops decide to detain him. And suddenly, his calm story changes. Because the things that they're holding in their hands, the items that were left behind, he realizes that they're starting to realize they probably belong to him. They ask him again what happened. And this time, the answers don't land the same way. He starts to stumble. The details change. Pieces don't line up. And slowly, the truth comes to focus. The man who said he had been attacked was the one who attacked her. His name is Brian Wayne Gibson. And the reason he'd been walking through that complex so casually, the reason he wasn't trying to hide was because he wasn't an outsider. He worked there. He was the security guard. The person hired to protect Jennifer Morey was the same person who tried to rape and kill her. Brian Gibson worked security at the apartment complex, and he had access. He knew the layout. He knew which units were occupied by women living alone. He knew when people came and went. He knew where the lights were, where the phone lines ran, and how to move through the property without drawing attention. And he wasn't new. He'd been working security for years. He was employed by one of the oldest and most well-known private security companies in American history. This is crazy.
Top flight security.
No, it's called Pinkerton. And the company...
Well, that one's from Friday.
Oh, yeah, true. Well, this one's called Pinkerton, and it has been around since the 1800s. It was founded in Chicago in the 1850s by a man named Alan Pinkerton, and for more than a century, the name has been tied to protection, safety, and security. It became famous after claiming to have helped stop a plot to assassinate President Lincoln before he took office. Their agents were later used by the federal government, by the military, and by some of the most powerful industries in the country.
And now they have this pot-bellied pig walking around this complex and then attacking women.
Exactly. At one point, Pinkerton was the largest private law enforcement organization in the world. They hired the first female private investigator in history. It's amazing. They even adopted the slogan, "We never sleep."
And neither does Nas. And why don't people sleep?
Because it's the cousin of death.
Mm-hmm.
For over a century, Pinkerton had sold itself as a shield, a safeguard, a name that meant protection and had a really good reputation. But behind that name, a pattern started to happen. Brian Gibson had not simply shown up at Jennifer's complex and been handed a uniform. He had been reassigned again and again after multiple complaints were made about him.
Creep.
Instead of being fired, he was quietly moved to different locations.
This reminds me of the Catholic Church.
True.
That's what they did with and I'll never get over that.
Passed along rather than fired. Until he ended up working nights at the apartment complex where Jennifer lived. Between 1991 and 1995, more than 130 Pinkerton guards in Texas alone were convicted of felony crimes.
So basically, they hired a dude out of jail, and everyone like, oh, I could get you a job, and it just,
yeah.
You know, like, and if you've been to jail, your homies have been in jail. And
this wasn't a fluke. This was a system that failed and kept failing for the people who trusted it. They did not do accurate background checks on their guards. Brian Gibson was arrested and taken into custody. When Jennifer gets to the hospital, doctors realize very quickly just how close she came to dying. The cut across her neck missed her jugular vein by literal millimeters, not inches. Millimeters.
Oh, yeah, I thought that when he cut her throat, like if you go sideways, you're probably not going to get the jugular.
Well, it's right here. The carotid,
one little nick. That's it.
That's it.
Protect your neck has a whole new meaning.
Yes, literally.
Right
no, you're done.
I thought you can't like put pressure.
You can, but like
protect your neck isn't just a song.
No,
it's a way of life.
It is a way of life. So if that blade had gone just a fraction of a centimeter deeper or at a slightly different angle, there would have been nothing anyone could have done. The injury to her face was just as close. The knife had sliced the right side of her face, grazing the corner of her eye, cutting into the area around her eye socket. When she was lying in bed and blood was pouring down her face, she truly believed that her eye had been gouged out, and doctors later confirmed that if the blade had gone just a little higher, slightly more inward, she would have lost her eye completely. The amount of blood left behind in her apartment shocked first responders. There was blood on the walls, on the ceiling, across the floors. More than one of the officers would later tell her that they were amazed she was still alive. She wasn't just lucky. She was almost impossible. Her survival wasn't supposed to happen, and yet it did. Jennifer stays in the hospital for days after the attack. The physical wounds are serious, but the emotional shock is just as heavy. And even as doctors work to repair what they can, she is forced to sit with the reality that her life almost ended in her own apartment in her own bed. Police officers and paramedics who had responded to her call start coming to her hospital room to interview her, and they just can't believe that she's still alive. One of them tells her that she put up one hell of a fight. Another admits that when they first saw the amount of blood in her apartment, they were sure they were walking into a death scene and not a rescue. And Jennifer hears this while she's still trying to wrap her mind around what happened.
She should be very proud of herself. You know, I know she's scared and every other emotion you could have that I can't think of. But at some point, she should feel victorious.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is that conflict.
Like, not me, not today, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she feels scared, and I mean, the emotional trauma that this would cause is crazy. She survived something that should have killed her. So she goes home eventually. She walks back into her apartment to gather her belongings, and it's not hard to imagine how surreal that must have been. The same rooms, the same bed, the same bathroom floor where she sat, bleeding and waiting. Everything looks familiar, but nothing feels safe anymore. So she moves in with her mom. But moving out of the apartment doesn't mean leaving that night behind, because trauma doesn't stay in one place. It moves with you. And for a long time, Jennifer struggles. She has trouble trusting people.
Of course.
She has trouble sleeping.
I mean, she has scars on her body.
She has trouble feeling normal in her own body. Even though she's a lawyer and she's capable and driven and intelligent, she starts bouncing from job to job, working positions that she's overqualified for because she's just trying to function. Survival isn't a moment. It's a long road for her. Brian Wayne Gibson is arrested that night. At first, he tries to tell police that he was attacked too, and that he's another victim. But the evidence inside Jennifer's apartment, his hat, his gloves, his belt, his underwear, the knife, tells a completely different story. Like, what a fucking idiot, honestly. I'm so glad he's an idiot.
I'm glad he's an idiot, but he was so bold.
It's so stupid.
Like, he thought I'd go kill her, rape her, change back into my security outfit and finish my shift?
It's insane. And once the pieces are put together, he has nowhere left to hide, and he's charged with attempted murder, along with several lesser charges related to the attack. At the trial, the details of what he did are laid out. What he planned, how close Jennifer came to dying, how much blood she lost. The jury hears about the phone lines that were cut, the power that had been shut off, and the way he came back to her door, pretending to help her. Brian Wade Gibson is sentenced to 20 years in prison.
There's not enough jail for this person, because this person will go right back to the scene of the crime. This person would do it any time, especially if he feels like he can get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 1995, which means he's currently a free man on parole. Yeah. It's terrifying. He's out of jail.
That is a failure of our justice system.
Well, he didn't he was charged with attempted murder.
I know.
It's crazy,
But
right?
if you attempted really good, there should be like you attempted really good,
Yeah,
you should get the same conviction as like
as a murder.
Yeah, because like sometimes attempted murder is like something that's a mistake. I don't know. There's like littler things.
Yeah.
That should be reserved for that. But when you like went as far as like trying to cut their head off and all kind of shit, like that attempt is like you did it. You would have killed 99% of the people you did this to. It just didn't happen this time.
Yeah. It's crazy. So after the trial, Jennifer sues Pinkerton Security. She holds them accountable for putting a man with complaints on his record into a position that gave him access to women living alone, for failing to remove him, for moving him around instead of stopping him. In 1998, Jennifer is awarded a settlement. The amount is never publicly disclosed. But I hope she got a lot.
I believe she should get the whole net worth of the Pinkerton.
Well, she didn't bankrupt them because they're still around.
Well, if you know anyone gets any Pinkerton security, you should definitely report them, cancel them.
Well, no, they since this case and that settlement, they've changed their ways.
I don't care. We know your roots.
True, yeah.
And they only changed because someone got hurt. They didn't change because they wanted to. They have a bad spirit.
So this is not just one man's crime. This was a system failure. Jennifer eventually opens her own family law practice in Fort Worth, Texas. She meets the man who becomes her husband, and she rebuilds her life piece by piece. But let's not forget the man who stayed on the phone with her that night.
Oh, shit.
The dispatcher, Richard Everett. He never disappears from her life. Richard Everett becomes her friend, and he even attends her wedding.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
He remains part of her story, not as a voice on the other end of the phone line, but as someone who trusted his instincts and helped her trust hers.
They're allowed to be friends with the people on the 911 call?
Well, they did. They became friends. She must have found him, and yeah.
That reminds me of like you and Rach, my PT.
Yeah.
Like, she won't be your friend because she's too professional.
Yeah, it's true. Well, Richard became friends with her, and he attended her wedding.
He's not as professional as the PT.
So Brian Wade Gibson served his time, and years later, he's released.
That's
and
bullshit.
He's currently living in Houston, Texas.
Wow, I have friends that live there.
Well, he's there. Jennifer is still in Fort Worth. She's still here, still alive, still practicing law, still living her life. And her story leaves us with something that is uncomfortable but important. Sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones you need protection from the most. And sometimes the stranger you've never met, the voice in the dark, is the only person who can save your life. And that is the case of Jennifer Morey and Richard Everett.
Well, that was a good one. I love when they survive and get some sort of justice, but I don't think this is full justice.
Yeah, because he's out and free.
I can't believe that.
I can't imagine being Jennifer and knowing that this man is just like out and about in Texas.
See, I think there should be a new law. We'll call it the free kill law.
Free kill law.
Yeah, you get a free kill.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're playing Call of Duty.
Is this like Purge?
Somewhat.
Okay.
So a dude like this does this to you.
Yeah.
He doesn't get life, but he's a shitty person.
Yeah.
He gets out. If you want to kill him and you kill him, you get a free kill.
Okay.
We don't convict you, but no one else can kill him. But
so she has to be
but
the
if
one
she
that
does it, free kill.
I mean, hey, it makes sense.
As society, we could say, like, we gave you what we think is your consequence.
Yeah.
But
like the court system.
The court system.
Yeah.
But if the victim feels like it's not enough, they get free kill. You got to hide or some shit.
Yeah. So he'll live in fear now.
Yes. And if that person kills you and they take a selfie with your body, they got it. Free kill.
Okay. Well, I just can't imagine. I mean, because that's not the world we live in. So I can't.
It could be. Hashtag vote for us.
I can't imagine what it feels like for her. I feel like for me, if this were me, even though it happened so long ago and he did 20 years, like I would probably always be looking over my shoulder, you know? The attack that happened to her is the reason he spent 20 years in prison. Like, I don't know. I would be living with constant paranoia, I feel like. So, yeah, this case, when I first heard it, I was like, wow, the whole dispatcher thing, the whole, like, Richard listening to his inner voice of his instinct of like, no, don't open that door. I don't know if I was in Richard's position, if I would even say that. It was really... Like, he really listened to his instincts and his intuition. And this was his first day and his first call.
I'm surprised.
That's insane.
I'm surprised that, a lot of calls aren't rarely this intense or whatever. It's not as frequent that you get something like this.
Yeah.
That, like, his supervisors didn't grab the phone maybe because it was his first one. Like, hey, give me that phone.
Yeah. He stayed calm. He kept her calm.
He probably never did a better job than his first day.
Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe he's a freaking hero out here saving lives.
You got to be a special person to be a 911 operator, man.
You really do.
Like,
honestly.
To be a good one? Because
Yeah.
we've heard bad ones, and of course, they'll get the publicity.
Yeah, but we have a few in our Patreon.
We
have a few crime family members that are 911 operators, and
it's just so much negativity, but you have to just, I guess, know that you're helping. But
yeah,
and it's
a lot of pressure.
What do they call that nowadays? Trauma dumping.
Yeah.
A lot of people just...
But it's also just like, I mean, you get a crazy call.
Like Halle Berry.
Oh, yeah, like that movie with Halle Berry, yeah. I mean, so shout out to the good 911 operators. I know we have some in our crime family, and I'm sure just like every other profession, there's way more good ones than bad ones. Just like every other profession, there's bad apples.
Yep.
But Richard, I mean, was the perfect person to answer that phone call.
It kind of makes you feel like that was part of the algorithm that made sure that guy was in that place.
Or it was God or, the universe or a higher power or whatever you believe in.
Or the Matrix, the algorithm.
Or the Matrix, whatever you believe in. Like fate, like it's pretty amazing. This story hit me so hard. The intensity. I put myself in her shoes while I was reading like articles. I also watched interviews with her on I Survived because she was on the I Survived show.
Wow.
I listened to a few different podcasts about this case and I read a ton of articles and like just putting myself in this lady's shoes. But honestly, watching the I Survived episode, you really like see everything she went through. And like she says to this day, she can still hear him zipping his pants up. Like that noise hasn't left her mind.
When you were talking about this, like this happening, I was thinking of like the building we lived in before we lived here. Like it was like that kind of building.
Yeah.
When we lived there, I was always thinking like someone could be in here if none of us are in here because we don't have the chain on or whatever.
Yeah.
But like if none of us are home, anyone could have went in here.
So yeah, they had a universal key for the building. And anyone could get into your apartment.
Yeah, it was like a credit card.
Yeah. I know, it's scary, actually, when you think about it.
No, I thought about it.
I'm sure you did. Wild, right? So crazy.
I'm glad he got some time, and I'm glad this lady had a successful life.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that he's out.
I know, me too. So this episode definitely relates to our clutch defense personal safety alarm called the Snitch. The reason we named it the Snitch is because not only is it a personal safety alarm that makes a really loud noise and has a flashing light, but it also connects to your phone and it uses the SOS features in your phone. So after you activate it for 10 seconds, it will call 911 and text your emergency contact, your GPS location.
Yeah, that's clutch, so everyone knows where you were when you were in trouble.
We are so proud of it because I'm firmly, it's like, this is something that I'm so passionate about, and I'm really excited to get it into hands of people because I hope that it not only makes you feel more secure, it's something that you're not dealing with pepper spray, you're not dealing with anything violent, like it's an alarm, but it has these extra features.
And you could trigger it silently as well, so in case you need to be quiet.
Yeah.
No one will see you pick up your phone or nothing. It's just on your keychain.
It's on your keychain. You just press the button on the side 5 times. So you can trigger it silently if you don't want to draw attention to yourself, but you're feeling uneasy. And then your phone will call 911 and text your emergency contact, your GPS location.
Well, even though it's the end of the Baddie series, stay baddies, folks.
Well, obviously, we're going to talk about more baddies in the future because we love the Not Me, Not Today stories. We love these types of stories.
My favorite.
But, I just wanted to especially highlight these cases and just celebrate the brand that we made.
Yeah, it's been going well. I've been very busy.
You have been really busy packing orders. It's going really well, and we're excited, and we're proud of it. So thank you guys all who ordered stuff. We appreciate you so much.
ClutchDefenseCo.com.
We appreciate you guys so much, seriously, and just all the support that you give us. Not only do you give us tons of support and encouragement with the podcast, but now with this new venture that we're on, you guys have been so supportive and excited and
not
encouraging.
Only that, you guys also validate me because for years, Jess told me I wasn't funny. So I appreciate you supporting me. I swear. I don't know how many years we were together before we came out with this, but it was some years. And Jess would always say, that's not funny. That's not. And it would be the same exact type of stuff I'd say on the podcast. People were like, that's funny. And Jess
it's because
God damn it.
I'm the butt of the joke. I did always think you were funny, but sometimes your jokes can get so inappropriate that they make me cringe and uncomfortable. And those are the ones that I said weren't funny. Because they're cringy.
But I found my people.
You did. You found your people who enjoy the cringe.
You ain't the people.
Yes, I am. I'm your number one people, okay? All right, everyone. Well, have a wonderful new year, and we will see you in 2026. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Check us out on Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod, Facebook at Wife of Crime The Crime Family, and Patreon at Wife of Crime Pod, and ClutchDefenseCo.com. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Protect your neck. Happy New Year.